Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
This is Another Side of Midnight with TJ McCormack. Now to the Bernard McGurk studios of 77 WABC. Here's TJ McCormack.
Good morning, hello, and welcome to Another Side of Midnight. My name is TJ McCormack. This is the Red Apple Audio Network's 1-800-848-9222. It's 7 minutes past the hour now that I've said all of the very typical talk radio things I'm supposed to say, and regret having to sound so typical in saying it. Let me go right to this. Ever since the Minneapolis drama ensued, ever since the news broke, and I was on TV the day after as more news broke with protests and stuff, except for a couple hours on daytime news television on Wednesday, I think it was. Might have been Thursday. I've been sort of waiting my turn. I've been chomping at the bit. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. And so forgive me if the first couple of minutes here are sort of all over the place, because now it's going from a trickle to a garden hose to a fire hydrant. I'm just ready to just spew. And I'm absolutely, I'm not terribly emotional about this. I'm not terribly offended about a lot of it. I'm not terrifically exorcised about all of it. I don't see this purely through the lens or at all through the lens of Republican and Democrat and liberal and conservative. I see this as what I like to think as a responsible, somewhat, most of the time responsible adult. As someone who, yes, I have real deep opinions, but I'm constantly checking them. Because a long time ago, I threw out a lot of my ego. Believe it or not. If you, honestly, I'm actually trying to regain and resurface a lot of the ego that I kind of left behind about 20 years ago when I gave up drinking. Sobriety has a lot to do with humility, and I think I threw some of the ego baby out with the ego baby bathwater. And so anyway, so the point of that is, when I express a big, sharp opinion, there's a lot of checks and balances that I place on myself going into that and coming out of it, and I do a lot of self-exploration, and I think about, I'm very contemplative, I'm very wary, I apologize, and I double down when I know that I'm right and I know that my opinion is sound. I'll double down and triple down, and I won't let go. If there's a moment when I think I might have wobbled in my reasoning, I'll say so. If I've offended, I'll apologize. All of that. And just to take it sort of from the top, when I think about what happened and with all the videos that have dropped in the last 36 hours, it's become clear that it could have gone either way. It's become clear that 2 and 3 things can all be true at the same time. That he could have just fired once. He might not have had to have fired at all. He, training, is there training? No, yes, no training. Does ICE is not local police. They don't get that kind of training. Local police don't do this kind of work. But at the very tippity top of it, you have a woman who made a choice. She made a decision. She made a decision to interfere with, based on her convictions, okay? Earnest convictions, wrong-headed, in my opinion. Her choice. She made a choice, a decision to go and obstruct law enforcement. And again, the reason that I'm going for this here, gang, is because I'd love to take advantage of the silence, take advantage of the lack of breaking news, take advantage of the quiet of the early morning and the late night, depending on where you are in the Red Apple Audio Network, where you are around the country or around the world listening on the web. Let's take advantage of the hindsight that we have now. This is not rapid fire breaking news. This isn't, and we're going to go to, and here now with comment is here's a press conference. We're not doing it. It's just us and our minds, myself included. It's us. We have the benefit of hindsight. We have the benefit of like 2.5 news cycles to inform us. So I'm just simply broaching the subject here That, yes, it's the only thing we've all been talking about. I'm sorry. I just can't get into, let's talk about your favorite, show tunes. That is not yet. So she makes the decision to interfere with law enforcement. And I look at it as terribly irresponsible. Terribly irresponsible. Because I'm putting myself in that situation. I make just about every, and by the way, what have we, she's a mom. I believe she is a widow. She is a gay woman with a wife now, and the wife has made statements and stuff. And we'll get into the politics of everything surrounding and the communications and the ideology. We'll get into the ideology. That's, of course, that is certainly the red meat of all this. But just to give us the entree, this woman is a mother. And exactly what is supposed to be pulling at our heartstrings is exactly why I believe it, why I say, and so many agree, that it was terribly irresponsible. What the hell are you doing? I make just about every decision I make, from I got to go pick up milk to I got to pay that bill to I got to slow down on this ice. Winter ice, not immigration ice. To I got to tap the brakes, I got to downshift and not jam on the brakes here on the highway. I base all of these, that's all. I'm a dad. I'm a husband. I'm a father. I love my daughters. I want to stay safe and alive. I want to keep them safe and alive. I'll make a decision to not buy this over here, but rather put the new brake pads on over there to keep my babies safe and alive, and myself and my wife safe and alive for them. Honestly, they say almost all fears are based on a fear of not being loved or a fear of not being enough. I think when you're a parent, all decisions, similarly, it can boil down to you're a parent. Almost every purchase, every judgment, every value choice, every determination is based upon what's best for your family. You'd like to think. I mean, God, I pick baseball seats so we don't get sunstroke. Honestly, if I want to take my girls to a Yankee game, I want to make sure that, honestly, I think that is, I don't want to give them a sunburn. So if we're going to a day game, I want to make sure we sit in the shade. Yes, me too, but certainly them. I want them to be comfortable. I'll buy 10 more minutes in my day if it means that I can spend 10 more minutes with my girls or my wife in a slow moment and not a rushed hi hello. And so this woman, yes, strong convictions. God, honorable to have convictions, honorable to live up to them, honorable to put your money where your mouth is, honorable to walk the walk. Absolutely honorable to do all those things when they're the responsible things to do. And in this case, I feel it's a wasted effort. I feel it's a waste. Not only is it a waste because it didn't do any good, it didn't move the needle, but it's especially a waste because here comes the ideology. Here comes the opinion. Here comes the red meat. At least a starter. Here's some cocktail meatballs for you. Here's some pigs in blankets. Oh, that's not red meat. What the hell is pig in blankets? Pork, nasty pork. Here's some processed pork. It was a waste because the tears, in my opinion, the tears being shed are alligator tears. They are faux tears. They are false tears. The outrage is a farce. The outrage is not genuine on the left, because I believe for the left, the ends justify everything. The ends justify everything for the left. It doesn't matter that some naked dude is in a locker room with your 14-year-old daughter. The ends justify everything. It doesn't matter that a wife beating human trafficker is out on bail who shouldn't have been in this country. The ends justify everything. It doesn't matter that a guy is back out on the street in Manhattan or Chicago or Los Angeles or Detroit or Boston with a record of 47 arrests, and now he bludgeons or sets somebody on fire on the subway, or cuts some beautiful Ukrainian girl's throat because this lunatic is out on the street. Because social justice, the ends justify everything. For the left, this woman died as she was out there fighting what she thought was the good fight, while in the end, the mayor of Minneapolis doesn't give a damn. He doesn't care. Tim Walz doesn't care that she's dead. In fact, for them, it's good that she's dead. It's good. They needed a body. And this is what I feel. And I'm not just lighting a talk radio fire. I promise you, I am not just lighting a talk radio fire. I genuinely, and by the way, this isn't just, I think the facts add up to this. Take a look at politics. Take a look at elected officials. I've been in war rooms. I've been in political comms meetings. Never involving nefarious garbage like this, thank God. But a snowstorm would have been a welcome distraction from the Minneapolis child care $9 billion fraud saga. If this was the Super Bowl weekend, they would have been sitting around a room going, listen, Governor Walz, you can breathe easy. Everybody's going to be talking about Super Bowl until Tuesday. You're golden. Just keep your head down. Boom. Snowstorms. Mr. Governor, get out there. Tell people to drive slow. Mayor, get out there. Tell people that the plows are coming. We'll put you on. We'll do a ride along with a plow. We'll get you out there. They would have been happy for that distraction. This distraction that they got, it's everything they wanted. The ends justify everything. They're on the side of the angels, these leftists. 1-800-848-9222. 1-800-848-9222. There's plenty to talk about here on Another Side of Midnight with me, TJ McCormack. We'll talk about this. We'll talk about some sanctimony that I bumped into at some point. We'll talk about that. I was called out by a dear friend. And, I'm not offended. I'm surprised. We'll talk about that, and I'm curious if you had the same experience. We'll get there. But I'm wondering what you're thinking about what I'm saying, and what your take on the last couple of days is. 1-800-848-9222. Our first break of the hour. We'll be right back here on Another Side of Midnight with TJ McCormack.
All night long, This is another side of midnight with TJ McCormack, 77 WABC. It's another side of midnight.
Political humorist TJ McCormack.
Now to the Bernard McGurk studios of 77 WABC. Here's TJ McCormack.
In the studios of 77 WABC. Good to have the gang back together, by the way. First time the three of us have been back in the same four walls in a long time, since before the holidays. And, we've had holidays, we've had some loss, there's been some sadness, here in the family, but, we're together again, and, I think we all look damn fine. Just three black dudes doing our thing. Thank you very much. 1-800-848-9222, 1-800-848-9222. Talking about Minneapolis, talking about this awful situation. I took no pleasure in any of this at all. And there are sick people on both sides who were just salivating for this. There are people who were dancing at the commotion and watching all that. There were people there were people on the right who were just quick to say aha and gotcha and good for them, good for ICE and fire away and all that. And there were people on the left who were hoping that somebody would drop an ICE agent somewhere along the way. And there were some people on the left, elected officials, who were hoping for political cover from all this. I mean, 24 hours before this happened, was it 24 hours? At least 36 hours. Tim Walz dropped out of the governor's race, decided not to run for re-election because of all of the headwinds that the Somali child care scandal, the $9 billion scandal, was causing so many headwinds that he dropped out. Pundits, opinion people were saying, in light of the shooting, that Walz might very well just get right back in. I mean, that's how obvious it was that he was doomed 36 hours before, and now this lady dies. That gave him fresh life. That put wind in his sails. Can you believe this? I mean, it is just about the ugliest business is politics, with some of the least impressive people, some of the least impressive. And by the way, you're gonna get on the wrong side of law enforcement for these people, and you can pick either one. You think that it's worth it to unseat Donald Trump? You think that getting in the way of federal law enforcement, that Donald Trump's political career is worth it? The country's gonna go on. MAGA's gonna happen or it's not. Why waste your time and in this case, God forbid, your life for this? Trust me, I've been on the inside. It ain't worth it. It's not. Stuff's gonna happen or it's not. You want to go and affect real change? You want to demand term limits. Demand term limits, and once and for all, not allowing, making it illegal for elected officials, for members of Congress to trade on the stock market. You want to affect real change here? Do that. Demand that get rid of earmarks in bills. Get rid of that pork. Make earmarks illegal for home districts and all that stuff. But start with term limits and disallowing, prohibiting. Sometimes the words just don't come at 2:30 in the morning Eastern time. Start with term limits and prohibiting members of Congress and their spouses from trading stocks. You want to see real change? Bam, right there. 1-800-848-9222. 1-800-848-9222. And you know, here's the other thing too. Okay. You want to show up. You want to block the street. You want to slow them down. Yeah, I mean, you can twist my arm. Okay. You figure, okay, we'll drive slow and we'll get, okay. But look, these men and women in law enforcement, federal law enforcement, local, state, local, county cops, man, their whole goal is to get home at night. Oh, but the black and brown people that they're arresting, they just want to go home too. They have to follow the rules. Forget the mission. Forget the mission and the orders that they're operating on. Forget that. Just the law enforcement aspect of it. These men and women, their life's goal is to get home safe. They want to survive the shift. And to see the absolute disregard, the absolute willingness to endanger multiple lives. By the way, that's not rhetoric. The woman died. We're not just talking about protecting the lives of the law enforcement. We're talking about all lives. All lives matter. All lives. Hey, you know, did anybody happen to mention, you know, thank God nobody was standing where her Honda Pilot went flying to? Can you imagine if there was like, you know, a family of 3 onlooking, or 3 or 4 more protesters, or another lesbian couple, you know, waving and saying hi. Hey, do we know you from the softball league? Sorry. Is that Pat and Lucille? Pat and Lucille, hey, it's us. Imagine if there was like another onlooker. Imagine if there's a member of the press. Imagine if there was there was nobody, by the grace of God, there was nobody standing by that car where her Honda Pilot went careening into. It could have been 3-4 other people dead in this situation because she made earnest, honorable. You can, like I said at the top, 2-3 things can be correct at the same time. A couple of things can actually be. A lot of things aren't mutually exclusive. Her decision could have been honorable and irresponsible at the same time. It can be earnest and stupid. At her core, she's driven to protect people who are breaking the law from, you know, the people who want to enforce that law. Okay. It's earnest, but it's misguided and irresponsible to get in the way of law enforcement for everybody involved, including your damn self, to wit, she died. And by the way, the most basic thing that happened here, or didn't happen, but the most basic of societal norms and standards. She didn't listen. She didn't comply with law enforcement. Something has happened in this country where, I mean, well, it happened a long time ago, of course. Civil disobedience, of course. But now it's about hate. Now it's about like real proper hate. And it's about disruption at all costs. And anyway, if she had just listened to him in the first place, if she had moved on when she was supposed to move on, or when he told her to get out of the car because she had not moved on quick enough and he said, get out of the car. If she had gotten out of the car, this would not have happened. Again, there are so many decision points along the way when it comes to bad situations. Everything from drunk driving, to murder, to fights, to simply disagreements in the kitchen with my wife. There are so many points along the way for me to go from being tired, arrogant, selfish, and snotty to actually taking the bait or giving my wife grief or something like that and actually engaging and being a jerk and having an unnecessary argument with my wife. So many, that's why I'm so disappointed in myself when I do find myself in an argument with my wife that is unnecessary and wrong and just something I wish just didn't happen. Was that I had opportunity after opportunity after, now granted, it could all be within the span of 94 seconds. They come in rapid succession. You got to be on your toes in life. Like an ICE agent, like a protester, you got to be on your toes when you're a husband with a big mouth and a short temper and a selfish attitude. But there are so many opportunities to be shut up, as I've said so many times on this program. So many opportunities to be shut up. So many opportunities this woman had to be alive today. And again, for what? For whom? To Tim Walz? For people who have just broken law after law after law? And yeah, federal immigration law is real law. It's not okay. It's not. This is news for the left. And I know I'm not the first one. It's not okay. And I'm going to get to Martin in just a second. Thank you for calling in, Martin. 1-800-848-9222. Dying to hear what all of you have been thinking these last few days. Tell me if your mind has changed on anything. Tell me if you have become more agitated towards the left. Tell me if you are more convicted. Have you become softer since this woman died? Have you begun to think, is any of this worth it? Have you begun to think that? Have you begun to think, wow, how is this going to parlay into the midterms? How is this going to parlay into MAGA? What's going to happen? Is this worth it? Do you wish the fog would clear so we can concentrate on taking down the corruption in the child care scandal and everywhere else? Is all of this worth it? Is it about the ends justifying everything on the right as well? 1-800-848-9222. Have the events of the last few days, and again, here we are, Saturday morning, with the benefit of hindsight. We know a hell of a lot more now than we did when we heard the breaking news that there was an ICE-involved shooting and a woman died. So much has gone under the bridge. And by the way, the least impressive people flapping their lips. And by the way, none of it surprising. Everyone from Mamdani to Jacob Fry, the mayor of Minneapolis, to Tim Walz, to, oh God, the chipmunk-faced ferret jerk, Adam Schiff, out of California. All of them just straight up lying about what happened in Minneapolis. Absolutely I mean, Schiff saying she wasn't protesting. She dropped off her kid at school and then found herself in traffic. I mean, lying like Richard Blumenthal lying, just like right to your face, lying. Mamdani calling it murder. I mean, again, I'm an opinion guy. I'm in the opinion business. I'm a blah, blah, blah. Listen to me, bloviate. Listen to me calling names. Listen to me, Mr. Big Mouth, Mr. I think I know. Okay? Sitting here with my notes. How did I open this monologue? By saying, I've been waiting my turn for 3 days, except for when I was on TV talking about it. Who the hell do I think I am? But here I am, Mr. Big Mouth Opinion Dummy. And even I know better than that dopey Adam Schiff and all the others. I'm sitting there watching those first couple of press conferences. And in the course of 45 minutes after the first video dropped even before the whole world saw that video, there's Jacob Fry saying, and I saw the video, and I'm telling you, that's BS. That was not self-defense. I mean, by the way, you want to blow a conviction against somebody you think might be guilty? Get on TV as the mayor and start casting aspersions and calling the guy a murderer before the oxygen, You guys can finish that. You can finish that metaphor. I don't care. Take that metaphor whichever way you want. Oxygen. I don't know. I don't know where the hell I was going with that one. Let's go to Martin in upstate New York. Martin on line 1. Good morning, Martin. Welcome to Another Side of Midnight.
Good morning, there, TJ.
Hello.
I think you're talking about Adam Schiff being an oxygen thief. Is what we were trying to?
Sure, why not? I'll go there. Okay, that gets me out of that rut. Okay, thank you.
So the problem here began with this sanctuary cities. Yes. There is actually no such thing as a sanctuary city. There is not really anything, nothing, no sanctuary cities. There's only the United States, and there's the law, and the law applies in the cities. They're not sanctuaries for illegals. Right. And this person actually moved with her wife up to Canada. Do you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she tried Canada. They tried Canada for a bit, and then they didn't like it, and they came back down here to Minnesota. Okay. And so they're still crazy LGBTQ nut jobs, and they don't like Trump, and they don't like ICE, and they immediately start obstructing ICE, and when ICE is trying to do their job. Yeah. And had she just stayed home today or the other day, she just stayed home and stayed away from there, she'd still be alive.
Hey, Martin, like I'm saying, Martin, you're right. But you know what? Honestly, if she feels, while you and I think it's misguided and for maybe deeper, more sophisticated reasons than other people, I think her intentions can be earnest and irresponsible at the same time. Maybe she really, really felt, if I can sort of be a stick in the spokes, a fly in the ointment or whatever. Okay. But you know what? All bets are off when law enforcement says, all right, out of here, move that vehicle. Or eventually he says, "Get out of the vehicle, ma'am. Get out of the vehicle."
You have to obey. I mean, that's a simple idea that most normal people understand, that law enforcement is there to enforce the law, and when they tell you to do something, you do that.
And you know what? Now, and definitely she'd be alive if she had just done that.
Just listen to what she was told to do.
She could have done that thing. Go ahead.
She's also a poet. She wrote some crazy poems.
Yeah. She sends her kid to a social justice elementary school where they teach about George Floyd and that sort of thing. George Floyd is a god at this kid's school.
So these people on that side have been brainwashed, and they've been indoctrinated into a Looney Tune way of looking at things, and all they know at this point now is Trump is wrong and ICE is wrong, and they're all right, whatever they think that they're right, and ICE is wrong, Trump is wrong, police are all racist, everybody else that doesn't agree with them is the enemy. That's all they know at this point. That's and the Democrat politicians just keep on throwing more gasoline on the fire.
And that's unfortunate too. So irresponsible, Martin. You're so right.
Dummy.
You're right. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Martin, for calling in. Thank you. Great first call. I appreciate that. And gas on the fire. Irresponsible. And again, too, if you want, if anybody was hoping, at the outset for some sort of, to make a leap to thinking they're going to get some sort of, some charges on this ICE agent or something like that. One way to blow it is to jump ahead and call the guy a murderer. You'll never get a fair trial. They'll throw that out. 1-800-848-9222. You don't want to cast aspersions. Dopey idiots. All right. When we come back, we got Tom, Gerald, and Jacqueline ready to roll here on Another Side of Midnight. And your phone calls. Please give a call. Tell me, what are you thinking? What's your gut on this? Well, I know there are some nuanced thoughts out there. You just heard Martin say about how the left is brainwashed. Let me ask you this. Are you getting the sense that some on the right, there's a lot of intellectual honesty happening on the right. And it's good because it kind of shows that if we're being really honest with ourselves, there are some pretty damn brainwashed MAGAs out there. Because I see a lot of intellectual honesty in Congress. I just saw a bunch of Republicans that broke from the Trump administration and passed voted to restrict some moves in Venezuela and other war powers. Clearly, I have to educate myself more on that. We're going to take a quick break. It is 48 minutes past the hour. We come back. We got Tom, Geraldine, Jacqueline, and you. 1-800-848-9222. It's Another Side of Midnight with me, TJ.
All night long, this is Another Side of Midnight with TJ McCormack, 77 WABC. It's Another Side of Midnight.
Political humorist TJ McCormack.
Now, to the Bernard McGurk studios of 77 WABC. Here's TJ McCormack.
Good morning, gang. Good morning. It's the devil inside. The devil inside. Every single one of us, the devil. Right? That's the song, right? Yeah. Okay. 1-800-848-9222. It is 51 minutes past the hour. We're talking about Minneapolis, Portland. People died in Portland the day after. What an end of the week. What a couple of news cycles. And in between, some of the least impressive, that's another thing. I'm dying to know, okay, if you can just throw this out there. If you're a Republican, maybe, we do the sobriety hour, we do the recovery chunk in the last hour on Saturday mornings. Maybe one of these days we just do like a segment, a quarter of an hour. We'll call it the, drop a dime, the intellectual we got to think of the confession. We'll call it maybe the confessional. But I'm curious, if you're a Republican, what Republican drives you nuts? What Republican do you just wish would grow up? What Republican gives you, if you're a Republican, what Republican gives you the heebie-jeebies? Skeeves you out? Which one? And if you are a Democrat, and I know this is difficult for a Democrat, okay, because you sheep. All right, look, half the time that Republican majority in Republican majority congressional majorities, most times that they take crap, it's when there's discord and stuff stops moving in Congress because they're arguing. I'll take that over sheep any day. I mean, man, oh man. As a political comms guy, I wish my side could get on message and sing from that same songbook, the same page in the hymn book. Once a chorus of hallelujah, from the conservative side of the, just like the Democrats do. Kamala is competent. Is that more of a goat than a sheep? 1-800-848-9222. If you're a Republican, tell me what Republican could you just do without? And not because they're a rhino. That's cheating. I'll give you mine. And I do this at the risk. I don't know who. I live on this concern, and I'm here at Red Apple Audio and 77. I'll give you mine. And I'm not going to cop out and say Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's easy. I'll give you two. And God almighty, I don't know if she's going to show up at my house and punch me in the face. Nancy Mace and Lindsey Graham. I'll go with Lindsey Graham and Nancy Mace. I'll give you two. So if you're a Democrat, I'll give you $50 if you please call up and tell me which Democrat just you think goes too far. Which one embarrasses you if you're a Democrat? And Republican, same thing. What Republican embarrasses you? 1-800-848-9222. Let's go to Tom in Jersey, line 2. Good morning, Tom.
Hi. Happy New Year.
And
Not
to
so
you.
Happy so far, huh?
Yes, yeah, right.
Okay, now, number one. All right. First of all, you're going to hear. So what I'm going to tell you is not what you're going to hear from anyone else. And a lot of people may not agree.
Okay.
Okay. So number one, I believe that I saw the video, and if you slow it down really slow, no matter what speed it is, number one, it's sloppy.
Yep.
Very sloppy police work. All right.
Sure.
Number two.
Sure.
All right. They didn't have to pull the trigger, and if they did, they could have used a burner. You know what a burner is, right?
Help me with that.
A non-lethal weapon.
Non-lethal. Sure. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Understood.
Now, they didn't have to shoot her in the face. And then number three, they could have had caught up with her in another car and pitted her. I'm telling you right now, this was, no one is going to agree with me. But if you look at it and listen to what I'm saying, I'm right.
Tom, I agree with you. I agree with you. It was sloppy. It was awful.
I don't think a lot of other people are.
No, sure. And yet,
telling you.
And Tom, you know what too, buddy? And I see you, what you're saying, and I'll raise you. All she had to do was comply, and it mitigates everything we're talking about. right? All she has to do, because we're talking about how it was sloppy on the part of law enforcement. How about the citizen doing what the citizen's supposed to do and follow the law, right? So I'm with you. I'm totally with you. Sloppy, unfortunate, didn't have to, etc. Burner, non-lethal, 100%. Absolutely. Lots of mitigating circumstances. All she had to do was comply and get the hell out of the car or get out of there the first time they told her to. I'm with you, Bo buddy. I'm with you. You're not going to get popular walking into a cocktail party and saying all that stuff, especially when you're going to have Republican cops around. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, buddy. It's a solid opinion. It was sloppy. Gerald and Jacqueline are going to be with us in the next hour. Guys, hang in there. Gerald and Jacqueline, do not move. I want to hear I see what you want to talk about. So don't go into it because you're going to contribute mightily to the program. We're talking about what happened in Minneapolis. We're talking about having the benefit of hindsight. We've seen this. We've been around this news cycle now. We've had time to marinate on it. We've had time to think about it. We've seen all the angles now. There's a lot less armchair and a lot more information. It's not so much, we have a lot more information on which to establish our opinions, right? We have a whole lot more information than we did when all this was breaking in real time. So let's take advantage of that and exchange some ideas here on Another Side of Midnight with me, TJ McCormack. And when we come back, we'll talk to Gerald and Jacqueline, and I'll tell you about a buddy who gave me a shot.
It's Another Side of Midnight, 77 WABC. This is Another Side of Midnight with TJ McCormack. Now to the Bernard McGurk studios of 77 WABC. Here's TJ McCormack.
right. Good morning, friends. Good morning, family. Hello there. It's me, TJ. It's another side of midnight on the Red Apple Audio Networks. I'm broadcasting to you from Midtown Manhattan, and very, very proud to be doing so from the studios of 77 WABC, the biggest and the best and the greatest and the grandest and the most famous talk station in all the damn land, particularly from the Bernard McGurk studios here in he of sainted memory here in New York City. And good morning, and thank you for joining the show. And we're talking about of course we're talking about what happened in Minneapolis and the general discord in the country, and we're talking about about just clashing with everything from clashes between protesters and police, and clashes between friends and relatives and neighbors and family. We are really reaching I don't want to say a tipping point. Every time I hear myself go down a cliche path, I want to stop and rethink it. But, it's definitely tense. It's definitely tight. I'm constantly thinking and rethinking, which is good. It's good. It's good to run stuff through a filter. Yes, it's good to be unfiltered, and you have to get stuff off your chest. And yes, we're as sick as our secrets, and you have to be true to yourself, and you have to be honest. But as my wife, who is perfect, as my wife always says, you want to say what you mean and mean what you say, but don't be mean when you say it. Oh God, that's so boring. I just want to be mean. And so, so you want to not edit yourself, but you gotta be, don't just be a jerk for the sake of being a jerk. You can be a jerk and not be a jerk. You know what I mean? Actually, that sounds like that's something Walter Matthau should say. You want to be a jerk, but don't be a jerk. So be a jerk. You don't have to be a jerk, and you be a jerk. Felix, don't be a jerk. You are a jerk, Felix. I'm going to be a jerk. You be a jerk. I'll be a jerk. We'll both be a jerk. That's almost a dirty sentence. Notes. Nothing in my notes says jerk, be a jerk, want to be a jerk, don't be a jerk. Somewhere there's a filthy-minded fella going, say that again. 1-800-848-9222, 1-800-848-9222. And yeah, so, I'm thinking about, too, by the way, the tactics that I think about those lines of people, those protesters. They're not even protesters. They're agitators. You've got to be a real jerk. You got to have a screw loose to be a leftist agitator. I was privileged. I was whitely privileged to be on a news program the day after the shooting, and was on the air in real time as it turned about 8 or 9 o'clock in Minneapolis, and protests started breaking out at a federal building outside of Minneapolis. And I'm watching, and they're doing obnoxious things. It's like they're professional jerks. Jerk. I'm back to jerk again. There's a sentence. They're professional. You'll stick with agitators. They're just leaning on their horns, blowing whistles, just, and you can see the little rally meeting in the parking lot with the professional leftist who just, who goes to sleep every night reading, Alinsky's Rules for Radicals, looking for those Easter eggs, looking for that little nuance that they missed the first 30 times they read that book by the sainted Saul Alinsky, And so many of these things, you watch them, and what I noticed the day after was in the protest the day after the shooting, at the federal facility, the front line, and this was like right out of a leftist petri dish. The front line, literally the first people to be in the faces of the ICE agents, of the federal authorities, were women. They were all women. Okay? You know it. They pulled out that petri dish. They pulled out that leftist agitator, anarchist cookbook, Alinsky's rules for radical, all that. They pulled out the whole kitchen sink of jackassery. The kitchen sink of jackassery, of leftist jackassery. And, you know, I could see them. Can you get me the bullhorn? Can you get me the bull? Okay. I just asked Tony to get, Tony's my okay, here we go. Now we're producing a radio show. Thank you, buddy. Yeah. I could just see the agitator going, okay, so listen now. People were here in memory of our fallen comrade yesterday. Listen, when we give the signal and when we approach, who brought the whistles? We have the whistles. Raise your hand if you have. Great. Okay. All right. So whistlers will have you stand down. Where's the, here's a line from Blazing Saddles. Where are white women at? Where are white women? Okay. White women to the front. We're going to ask you to be the front line. Okay. So, because yesterday a white woman died, right? We all saw that. That's why we're here. So we're going to ask as many white women. Okay, white women, please step forward. Great. Okay. We're going to ask you to shout and spit. Okay. So make sure you're hydrated. Make sure you're hydrated and have a lot of saliva. You're going to need a lot of saliva. We're going to ask you to spit at the ICE agents. Okay. Expectorate. That's what I mean. We're going to ask you to expectorate and spit and shout. So please, if you don't have water, please again hydrate now. You should all have water bottles. You know, we don't encourage plastic water bottles, but if you have we don't encourage disposable. We don't like plastics, microplastics, major plastics, plastics, super elastic bubble plastic from the 70s. We don't encourage any of that, okay? But we do encourage spitting and getting in the way of law enforcement. So ladies to the front, and we'll see everybody in about 10 minutes. Okay, so, all right, everybody have fun. All right, bottom line, have fun, express yourself, spit at the authorities, and shout, and be generally disagreeable, okay? And let's remember, our kids are watching. So let's be especially disagreeable and ugly. Oh, and ugly women to the front too, please. Ugly women with as much gray hair and body hair as possible. If you're a hirsute woman, I'm going to ask you to please also come to, if you're a hirsute woman with a good amount of spit, of saliva, please step to the front. We're going to need your efforts today. And again, the kids are watching, so let's be gross. Whoa. Jeez. I hit the siren. 1-800-848-9222 if you can relate to any of that. Thank you, Tony, by the way. I appreciate that, buddy. Let's go to George. Oh, wait, let me see. I'm sorry, Gerald in Trenton. Gerald, good morning. Good morning,
no,
Gerald.
It's Joe.
Jerry, how you doing?
It's Joe.
Joe.
That skit you just did, man, is the funniest. That's all. I hate you. I can't go to sleep. It's between the music you play and your humor. I just can't stop listening to the radio. You're great, dude. You're great.
You're very kind. Thank you, buddy.
I'm going to give you two of my favorites, James Comer and Lindsey Graham.
Yeah.
The two Republicans I detest.
They give you the douche chills, huh?
James Comer can't stay away from he needs to stay away from that TV cameras.
He's big. He's a big talker, isn't he? That guy can hold a hearing, but does anything ever happen after the hearing?
Nothing ever comes out of it. Yep. Lindsey Graham's the same way. He's all bark and no bite.
Yep.
Lenny, the reason for my call.
Yes, sir.
Why aren't they hosing these people down? Especially the ones that are blocking the roadways.
Yeah.
Get the damn fire hoses and hose them off.
Right. You know what? Oh, I like your Philadelphia. Hose them off. I hear your accent when I'm down in Ocean City in the summertime. Hose them off. Go on down. Go over, get them off the road. They're on the road. Hose them off. No, you're right, man. Do some tactics. Get rid of them. Get them out of there. Again, if they had been more strong with that woman in making her get out of that car or get the car out of there, she might be alive right now. I think that's a hell of a point.
Why didn't they just shoot her tires before?
Boom. Wow. Dig you. Shoot the tires. Wow. That's interesting. They would have, somebody would have found a reason to say that was irresponsible.
Yeah, no matter what.
It's a lose-lose.
Yeah, but I'm waiting for that. Yeah. Why aren't they hosing them down?
I don't know, buddy.
That Minnesota weather at night.
I know, right? They'd be ice in the morning, and ice would be creating ice, and they wouldn't be able to drive in the first place. Ay vey. Jerry, I don't know. Wait, I'm sorry. Did you say, who is this? This is Joe? Joe, I thought so. Okay, all right. Hey, Joe, thank you, buddy. I'm grateful every time you call in, man. Thank you. Let's go to Jacqueline in Queens. Hey, Jack, been a while.
Hey, TJ, you have to excuse my voice. I'm getting over COVID. So if I choke up a little bit, that's the reason for it.
Who gets COVID? Oh my God, you're like retro.
Yeah, well, this is the second time I've had it in 4 years.
Well, you sound okay. You don't sound so bad.
Oh, until I start choking to death, then I won't sound so good.
All right, don't do that. Don't choke to death. Or if you do, wait until after the commercial break because
absolutely. I've been enjoying your podcast though. I haven't been able to call in live, but I've really been enjoying your podcast. So
thank you.
I've been catching up. I'm at least caught up on the past month's worth.
Okay. Thank you.
So, but I have a different perspective on this whole thing.
Awesome. Great.
And my perspective is the only reason anybody is talking about this and cares about this is because this white woman happens to be a lesbian, or else nobody would give a flying crap. They would say, good for the white Karen, the conservative Karen that got killed. Mm-hmm. Live by the sword, die by the sword. You're all for this. You're all for Trump, the orange man. You're all for ICE. Right. Good. Finally, it cost you your life.
Right.
But people are not asking a question that I think is more important. What was this woman afraid of that she had to get out of there like a bat out of hell? Nobody's asking those questions. And you already raised the most important things, which is, did she think at all about her child?
Yeah.
She wasn't being responsible. And I happened to read the story, and all her partner was saying was, what a peaceful person she was, what a loving person, what a gentle, kind person that cared about everyone. That's a pretty violent act that she pulled off. Booking it out of there. And I think your first caller, I don't remember his name, I think he would feel a little differently if he were standing in front of that vehicle and less than several weeks prior, he was in the same situation with trying to arrest someone that was, an ICE detainee, whatever the story was, and he actually got run over. So I think, you made a very valid point that we're all Monday morning quarterbacks, and hindsight is always 20/20.
Yeah,
you got a split second decision.
Yep.
You got a 5,000-pound vehicle that's a foot away from you, 2 feet away from you, and no innocent person would flee the way she did. So it's the same old. You're looking at liberal left lunatics in Minneapolis, and that's the only reason they care about this. Otherwise, nobody would care.
Yeah, you're right. And the fact that and again they pounced on the idea that yes, that she is LGBT, and yes, that she's married, and they pounced on all of that stuff. And and again, it's like there was she could have still done her honorable due diligence. She could have done her thing. She had already actually accomplished it. She wanted to slow them down. She slowed them down. She got in the way. She was a tough guy. Great. you know what? Then get the hell out of there. And again, these guys, these men and women in these situations, their heads are constantly on a swivel. I mean, when you and I are driving in the snow, how precise do we have to be? And that's nothing. These are men and women out there with loaded guns, dealing with people with loaded guns, and now they got to worry about a bunch of liberal ideological jerks who basically, again, to them, the ends justify everything, right, Jack? And it's like the last thing these men and women need is to be telling somebody to get that car out of here, and it's awful. And to have elected officials demonizing and stoking. And by the way, that's something else, Jacqueline, right? Talk about a cliche at this point. They have been stoking here you go, Jacqueline. Umbrella statement here. All of this, every nano detail of this, Jacqueline, is on the Democrats to begin with, because this again is yet another critical mass of months and months of condemning and criticizing and demonizing law enforcement. We wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for that. Thank you, Jack. I love when you call in and feel better. I'm sorry. God, COVID. Jeez. 1-800-848-9222. When we come back, we'll talk to George, Joaquin, Rich, and you. Call 1-800-848-9222. What do you think about all this? And, I will tell you about a dear buddy of mine who gave me a dressing down that, quite frankly, I did not deserve. I didn't deserve it, people. I didn't deserve it. All right. We'll be right back. It's Another Side of Midnight with TJ McCormack on the Red Apple Audio Networks.
All night long. This is Another Side of Midnight with TJ McCormack. 77 WABC. It's Another Side of Midnight.
Political humorist TJ McCormack.
Now, to the Bernard McGurk studios of 77 WABC. Here's TJ McCormack.
All right. 1-800-848-9222. It's Another Side of Midnight. It's me, TJ McCormack, here on the Red Apple Audio Networks. And, it's okay. So we're going to talk to the phones. In the meantime, go take a little look-see. Go to X. If you're on X, Twitter, go to @TJ McCormack, @TJ McCormack, TJ McCormack. Go to @TJ McCormack, on Twitter and take a look at a couple of screenshots. Couple of screenshots there that I redacted like an FBI document, that I redacted like an Epstein file. Okay, these are the TJ files. I redacted them. And take a little look at like just sort of this jarring, odd moment in my evening where a truly dear friend, like a Mount Rushmore friend, takes me to task. And you'll see. Take a little look and we'll get into it. And in the meantime, let's go to George in Maine. George in Maine, thank you for calling in. You're on Another Side of Midnight with TJ.
Oh, hi, TJ.
Hey.
You do an excellent job, but let's remember,
yes,
small minds are occupied by small things. That female in Minneapolis is a criminal, and the law enforcement was allowed to defend themselves. Anybody who carries on about this is being distracted from what's really going on and never talked about. Over 70 million non-citizens live in America, folks. That's it. We got 70 million visitors in here. 80% of Somalis in the U.S. are on welfare. And even out of all these people who are non-citizens, anywhere from over 50% to over 80%, depending on what state you're in, are on welfare benefits. Yeah. They look at this joint as a big piece of rock candy. What is being ignored is that because of open borders, every enemy has their people in America. Never talked about. Now, you got to find this to be suspicious, folks. If you don't, you're going to lose, because if nothing is done, the left wing wins. Because the 65 Immigration Act is bringing millions of people inside America from the third world every single year. Past year, 2025, over 1 million came in legally. And we're not counting the people who came in with tourist visas and business visas who did not leave. So they're coming in every single day, and you're building up the Democratic Party into a hard-wing party. If nothing is done about the 65 Immigration Act, you could talk from now and keep talking to all as far as you want to talk. But that is what's happening in here. Up here in Portland, Maine, and inside Lewiston, Maine, we have all the Somalis. Right. They originally came from Atlanta. They were sick and tired of getting robbed down there.
Wow, really?
They came up here because big, juicy welfare programs, low crime rates, so they got up here. Now the crime rates are going up, and we've been invaded. They're not only in Minneapolis. But Bill Clinton brought them here. You never hear anybody talk about Bill Clinton bringing them here. I tell you
what, those Somalis, they're good with the word of mouth, huh? When they find a spot that works, boy, the word gets out, and they just come a running, don't they? Between Minneapolis, now Portland, Maine, and I guess it had been Atlanta.
Well, I'm going to break people's hearts. Clinton brings them in, but now they're greeted by certain groups. If I say it, I think you're going to hang on me. In Minnesota, folks, the Lutheran Church of Minnesota is the one that helped them with all the forms. This is all your benefits you get. You get benefits. What benefits you get?
Hey,
what are you talking about?
George,
look, let me finish.
Sure.
The Catholic Church.
Yes, I was just about to say, George, I worked for the Cardinal here in New York for about 5-6 years, and during the mass influx of illegals, every single day I'd walk out of the building where I was working for the Cardinal in communications, and there would be families, migrant families, literally would be coming from the bus station directly to our building, thinking they were going to get goods and services at our Catholic office building. So yes, I was about to for your edification, I was going to, validate what you were saying. Catholic Church, Lutheran Church, they're all complicit. They all, 1-800-848, thank you, George. 1-800-848. Rich in Illinois, line 5. This is interesting. Rich, what you got cooking?
TJ, you rock.
Thank you.
I love you.
Thank you.
As a heterosexual man would love another.
I understand. Love with with a manly hug and a backslap. I get you.
In the mirror, baby.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to call you about this girl I've known for months. I never knew when to call because you've got great topics every week.
Thank you.
But this whole situation with Minneapolis reminded me. This is the girl I know. But I'll try to keep it brief for my synopsis. I'm disabled, so I really don't get out of my apartment very much.
Okay.
A friend of mine who came into my life around late summer is a girl I've known for years, sort of. She came back in my life, and she's helped me get out and about. We go out and hang out, but over time I realized, she's a liberal. So when you're in an SUV, which the word mini tie the girl in Minneapolis, she listens to NPR.
Oh boy!
Or Dateline, Sirius. And
when that happens, do you wish that your disability was that you couldn't hear? Do you wish that you were a deaf dude? Maybe.
Yeah, I do want to bang my head out of the actual. She was a Dateline for listening to murder, Dateline murder, podcast type thing.
Oy vey. True crime stuff. Right.
And true. And anyway, but yeah, she's been great to me, but she has to talk. When she listens to NPR, you hear the news reports, the fake news reports.
Yeah.
And then anytime something about Trump or anything about Republicans and their successes, which we know, she wants to rip on Trump. And even at Thanksgiving dinner, Christmas dinner, always a Trump bashing.
Yeah.
But she's a white woman, and she's 55.
Okay.
And she seems to be a typical liberal that we see at these protests.
Would she do that? Do you think that she would actually do that? Do you think she's capable of actually being one of these protesters someday?
Yes, because in October, I live in the Chicago suburbs.
Okay.
So in Oak Park, Illinois.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, I know Oak Park. Uh-huh.
I didn't know until she said, "Oh yeah, I'm going to go with some friends in Oak Park this weekend." And I said, "Okay, that's nice." And
then you saw her like making big signs and packing a lunch, and you realized, and she's bringing noisemakers and fireworks and. Yeah.
It turned out to be a pro-trans gay rally.
Oh God, that's so passe.
About it when she got in. Oh Jesus,
that's so cliche.
Bridgeport, Illinois, the whole hotbed in the fall with Chicago. The whole disruption in the Chicago area.
Welcome to the Oak Park. Welcome to the Oak Park Trans Rally here in Oak Park, Illinois, home of Kevin McAllister from Home Alone. Does everybody realize that his older brother was trans and is now, oy vey. Hey, Rich, I got to jump, buddy, but make sure you stay, make sure you stay in touch. I don't want to think about you, not being in touch more than you are. So definitely and tell her, I'll get you another girl to take you outside. Stop hanging out with her. She's no good for you. Thank you, Rich. I do appreciate you calling in. 1-800-848-9222. And, let's see, before I tell you my tale of woe being called out by my buddy, let's go to Joaquin in Pennsylvania. The Joaquin. Good morning, Joaquin.
Good morning. It's the TJ to the maximum.
Indeed. Hi, buddy.
Indeed. You know something? The first thing I got to quell real quick. I know, whenever someone says shoot the tires out, that is not happening in the first place. When you stand in front of the vehicle, you're not going to see the tires.
Right.
But it's just such a ridiculous argument. And this thing about a burner, you have a split second to react. And I'm sorry, this is all baloney. In the first place, they're not going in there hardcore enough. When she pulled her car across the street to block the road,
right?
To impede a lawful.
That was it. That was
operation.
it. Cuff her, pull her out of the truck, and get her out of there.
Exactly, and that's what they went to do. And she went to drive off, and if she had to drive through him, that's what she was going to do.
Right.
And it's sad, but it was all the way around a stupid thing. But the problem is that they're not going in there hardcore enough, because whenever people do this stuff, they should have, buses to mass arrest people, and then they should have tow trucks to impound the vehicles for doing this stuff.
And Joaquin, I'm sorry, I'm only going to interrupt because I think I've actually got a legitimate point to add to your point, and that is this. And this is the problem with cities like Minneapolis, where garbage leftist agitator mayors like Jacob Fry do not allow the police, because while ICE is doing their stuff, that other stuff, traffic, dealing with protesters, that should be being handled by Minneapolis PD, but they are not allowed to engage.
Right. Boom. Well, here's the whole thing also. When they talk about arresting any of these ICE officers, I'm sorry, if I was the feds, I would put a point out like this. I'd say, anybody touches an ICE agent, whether you're a police officer or not, we're sending the FBI and the U.S. Marshals to come arrest you, right. Okay? Because this is federal law. This is this country, the only way we're going to save this country is we got to start mass deporting people.
Yes.
Because let's face it, they're all voting Democrat. They're in all these cities. And like your other caller, one of them pointed out, 80%, as a matter of fact, the numbers go higher after the Somalis have been here for multiple years. They get more and more benefits all the time. Mm-hmm. And this is all, they're importing all these people from all around the world. And the reality is that, this is a battle between, Judeo-Christian Western civilization and the rest of the, basically the rest of the world.
Yeah.
So, they can't go in there playing games. I would have the National Guard there. I would have buses, prison buses, wherever you want. I might have tow trucks. and I would stop the stuff. And when you watch a video, I saw a video of some ICE officers in a pickup truck, white pickup truck with a camper cap on the back. And somebody comes up behind and he's smashing that window. And I'm sorry, they should go back in there and they should arrest him.
Yeah, 100%. And, and just the general lawlessness, again, when you see that normally, if there was, like in Los Angeles, you had, for a stretch there, and also I believe in Washington D.C. when things were, being done nice and copacetically, when it was just about crime and not this immigration, sanctuary stuff, you saw federal agents, National Guard, that were working, dovetailing with efforts by LAPD, DC, District Police. In Minneapolis, that woman and the other agitators would have been likely handled by, and traffic and breaking up these barricades. I mean, they were playing like it was like the French Revolution, building these barricades the next day. And you saw refuse in the middle of the street. You can't just do that. You can't just build a barricade in the middle of the street because you care about some underclass. You can't do that. And Minneapolis police would have been the agency to handle that. But Jacob Fry, again, the blood of this woman is on Jacob Fry's hands. This woman's blood is on Adam Schiff's hands. This woman's blood is on Mamdani's hands and what's his name? Who's the idiot from California? That other one. Anyway,
Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, Newsom, and all of them. This woman's blood is on all their hands. Jacob Fry, first and foremost. And it's just a shame. Joaquin, thank you, buddy. I'm grateful, and I agree on all counts with all that stuff. 1-800-848-9222. So go to TJ McCormack on Twitter, go to X, and go and take a look at this, little exchange where a buddy of mine, so here's what it was. And we're going to get to Sean and Mickey. Don't either of you go anywhere. Sean and Mickey, stay right there. I'm just going to catch everybody up to what we're talking about here. Earlier in the day, I saw a meme on Instagram where they talked about, where this meme, a graphic, and there were words that went along with it, right? And the graphic said, and this is in relation to what happened in Minneapolis. The graphic said, in not so many words, when Charlie Kirk was assassinated, they cheered. Right? The same people, the leftists, that are condemning ICE, condemning Trump, condemning enforcing immigration law. And the people that are assigned to do it. The people that are condemning all of these things, all of these entities, those people, many of them cheered. And it says, remember when Charlie Kirk was just sitting there and taking questions? That's what this meme says. Remember when Charlie Kirk was just sitting there and taking questions and not driving a car, disobeying lawful orders or anything like that. He was just sitting there. They cheered his assassination. A lot of them did. I know a cop that did in Westchester County. And I saw that and I thought it was profound. It's certainly attention getting. It's certainly button pushing. Absolutely. I'm in the opinion talk radio business. I'm in the realm of political opinion. And I thought it was thought provoking and it was provoking. So I shared it. And I get the message. So it says, they cheered. I get a message from my buddy on Instagram and he says, Are you cheering on this one? In other words, am I cheering the death of this woman? And I said, Jesus. Name, I'm redacting, of course not dropping any names. I said, Jesus. And he said, you post a lot of things that come across as hateful. Just saying. And then he follows up with a sanctimonious shot that says, it's a quote from George Orwell in the 1984 novel. And it says, quote, the party told you to reject the evidence of your eyes and ears. It was their final, most essential command. Yeah. Yeah. The party told me to reject the evidence of my eyes and ears. It was their final and most essential command. So he says, I'm posting hateful stuff. And I said, I'm confident that most understand that I'm not a hateful person. And he says, that's good for you. This is a friend. This is a dear friend. He says, that's good for you. You post some incredibly antagonizing posts and do a ton of name calling. I don't call names. And do a ton of name calling. I never see you call out your own party. I only see you lean in and against the left. It's clear you hate them. He says you seem to try to point out the hypocrisy of the left, yet you don't call out the hypocrisy on the right. I'm not sure you even see it. Then you get offended when someone like me calls you out. Not offended. Okay. Not offended. I might sound offended. You guys might all be sitting there going, TJ, you're offended. I'm not offended. This just does not stand up to facts. I'm surprised. I'm shocked. And in a slightly effeminate way, I'm hurt. Because, well, first of all, also, on a logical level, when my dear friend says, I never see you call out your own party. I only see you lean in and lean against the left. I'm a conservative. I tend to see now. Tonight, I named two Republicans. I am forever calling out Republicans for not following through. I have been a Republican complainer about half measures and promises not kept forever and ever and ever. I went out and I criticized President Trump himself for his comments when Rob Reiner died. I have criticized Trump. Matter of fact, last week, when we were covering the breaking news on the Saturday morning about Venezuela, the next morning, I opened up Sunday morning show saying, God, I wish the president could just stay out of his own way. God, I wish the president could get on message. God, he doesn't have to talk about we're going to run the country. And what are we doing running a country? I didn't just criticize the right. I criticized the administration last week. So again, I'm not offended. I'm just taking this lack of facts to task. And I'm wondering if any of you have sanctimonious moments, have moments of sanctimony from friends who think they know you better than you, who think they know better than you, who claim to be looking out for your best interest by misrepresenting you. I'm genuinely not offended. I think there's a difference between being offended and being a little ticked off, being offended and being, and wanting to correct the record, and being hurt. Because I do take great pains to try to be intellectually honest and correct myself. Now, I'm not saying I don't call names. I do call names. Of course I do, especially on social media. I have fun with it. But here's the thing about this guy. See, now, the last time this guy chimed in, he told me about how the left and the right. He's one of those people. The left and the right both claim the moral high ground. And listen to this. There you go. He says, I'm neither left nor right. Which, what's the subtext there? So I'm better than, but I am actually correct. The left and the right, they both claim moral high ground. I'm neither left nor right. Do you have experience like this with friends? Now, I love this guy. And I don't even want to say salvage this relationship. I'd hope it's not something that needs to be salvaged. I think a clearing of the air, certainly. But, I can be intimidated. This guy's very, very smart. He's a very smart guy. He's a very contemplative guy. And, and I don't like to be called names, and I don't like to be judged, especially negatively. But I'm a human being, But isn't it interesting when somebody in a very judgmental, sanctimonious way sends you a message about being judgmental and misrepresents you to your own self and is somewhat disingenuous in their own right? Do you have experience with that with friends? Have you been caught off guard? I mean, we've all had the Thanksgiving dinner table thing. We've all had the barroom discussions and disagreements with strangers. But I'm curious if you've experienced anything like I experienced today and also about a month ago with this same fella. And that one arguably was even more offensive, the way he came at me. But anyway, 1-800-848-9222. I'm wondering if you've had any disappointing disagreements with people that you otherwise love that really hit you. You know what I mean? All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we got Mickey, we got Jerry, we got Sean, we got Mike. Hang in there, gang. We shall return. It's Another Side of Midnight with TJ McCormack on the Red Apple Audio Networks.
All night long. This is Another Side of Midnight with TJ McCormack. 77 WABC. It's Another Side of Midnight.
Political humorist TJ McCormack.
Now, to the Bernard McGurk studios of 77 WABC. Here's TJ McCormack.
Good morning, gang. It's me, TJ. It is Another Side of Midnight on the Red Apple Audio Networks. Hey, if you got a megaphone, use it. If you have a cough button, use it. There it is. Okay. Good morning, everyone. 53 minutes past the hour, coming up on the final hour of the program here on a Saturday morning. It's Saturday morning, the 10th of Jan. And, we're talking about, taking some shots from a dear friend that were inaccurate. I don't mind, and also, I don't mind somebody, throwing me a line. I've more times than I care to acknowledge, I have been thrown a lifeline by people because I have a big mouth. I have a massive mouth. Now, it served me well in some regard. But again, in my previous life, in my drinking days, and my pre-drinking days, when I didn't have the benefit of understanding the notion of humility and keeping my ego in check and not being, it's not about me and all this stuff. I've been thrown more than a few lifelines along the way by friends dudes, girls, family who would say to me, necessarily, would say to me, I don't know if you realize how that came off. Or when we were in that meeting with that producer, I've had agents and managers who said, you sounded a little high-minded in that conversation. So, maybe you just... So I'm no stranger to... I'm no stranger to having friends. When you have a big mouth, and you're quick to say things and you rely on humor. And sometimes, when humor is your MO and you lean on it, and maybe as a misstep, maybe you, as my kids say, maybe you shoot an air ball that you hope was going to land as a great joke. That's the reality of my existence. At the same time, so I get it. I get it when I'm being called to the carpet, taken to task, helped out, given a heads up on a flat note. I get it. That's fine. Sure, I might push back. I might have my feathers ruffled. It's human nature. I'm a human being with an ego. But I'm sensitive. But at the same time, I would hope that the other, because I know if ever I'm the messenger, on the rare occasion that I'm the one who might deliver a dose of reality or in a don't murder the messenger type situation, and when I'm the messenger, I try to be so very mindful. I try to be very, very mindful of what I'm saying, how I'm saying it, and my own intellectual honesty in delivering my message. If you are some sort of monk-like interlocutor? If you're some sort of monk-like Zen messenger, and you don't hear yourself sounding like you're claiming higher ground by saying, I hear the left and the right claiming the moral high ground. I'm neither left nor right. Therefore, I am on the high ground. I am better than you. Now, maybe I'm jumping. Maybe it's not what you're saying at all, my friend. Maybe you're not implying that you're better than me. But to imply, and by the way, to ask that cute question, was I cheering this woman's death? That's the how dare you. That's the how dare you. Curious if you've had one of those how dare you moments with a friend in recent times, especially since Trump came around. Sean, Mike, Mickey, Jerry, stay right the hell there. Don't move! Coming right back after the top of the hour. It's Another Side of Midnight with me, TJ McCormack, on the Red Apple Audio Networks. Stay right there. Do not move. I repeat, do not move.
It's Another Side of Midnight. 77 WABC. This is Another Side of Midnight with TJ McCormack. Now to the Bernard McGurk studios of 77 WABC. Here's TJ McCormack.
Good morning, gang. Yeah. Welcome back. 7 minutes past the hour. It's the last hour, the final hour. The final countdown. Sorry. 1-800-848-9222. It's another side of midnight. Me, TJ, and the early morning family here and over on Twitter. Twitter really cooking this morning. X over there. The entire X crew is over there with a bunch of new people following. We're in fuego, gang. We are really. Yeah. New followers. Yeah. Okay. There's people over there and they're listening and they're following and they're jumping in. We've got Marianne over there. Philip Ivy is listening from, yeah, that's right. Listening from Memphis. And, Marianne is there and, Joaquin is over. Patty in the Sound Shore in Westchester is listening. Our very own Patty. Let's see. We've got new followers. Mike McPoland and Charlotte and Patty K. Ed is there. Thank you, Ed, who called in last week as well. He did the transition. Ed is bi. Ed is bi. He is an ex-commenter and also called last week. Patty is also bi. She is also chimed in on both platforms, calling and tweeting. Thank you, Dylan, for being there and commenting, and lovely Catherine and everyone else. So thank you, gang. If I didn't say your name, I'm sorry, but I'm looking and I think I got most of the people who are cooking over there on Twitter/X. Thank you. 1-800-848-9222. And, so, covering all this stuff we have the benefit of information and hindsight and the quiet of the moment. If you're just joining us here on another side of midnight out there on the Red Apple Audio Networks, after 2 or 3 days of constant bombardment from Minneapolis and to a lesser extent Portland and to a greater extent, the larger big political picture, maybe this is one of those times I approached it this morning saying, look, it's quiet. It's dark. We can do our usual contemplative early morning thought process and maybe weigh in on everything that Minneapolis is. Because what happened in Minneapolis is really, it's a microcosm of it's a snapshot of America right now. It's a snapshot of America as we stand. We have Democrats and leftists constantly adding fuel to a rhetorical fire. The leftist playbook is now turned to tissue paper. It's been used and reused and read and reread. The spine is broken on the leftist agitator playbook. Alinsky's rules for radicals is now firmly ensconced and at play. And you've got Republicans fiercely defending the Trump administration, the rule of law, applying the rule of law, going and getting them. Hey, look, I got you on another dose of intellectual honesty that my friend doesn't seem to think that I'm capable of, that he doesn't seem to be capable of. Here's a dose of intellectual honesty. While they're all rule breakers, illegal aliens, they're all rule breakers, clearly, of course, they all. I think I would feel more, and maybe this is just the wussy side of me. Maybe this is the people pleaser side of me. But Trump did say, and Tom Homan did say, we're starting with the worst of the worst. Right? Somebody Republican, call me and correct me. 1-800-848-9222 or at TJ McCormack. If I'm correct, I do believe if we're taking these guys literally, they did say we're starting with the worst of the worst. And from a messaging standpoint, not that I want to let anybody off the hook, but there's grades of murder, right? There's first degree murder, second degree murder, third degree murder, right? There's manslaughter. There are worse versions of illegal aliens. So while we're talking about this, here's more intellectual honesty. I would like to see us get rid of every last murderer and rapist and child abductor and child predator illegal alien first. And then work our way to the waitresses and the waiters and the construction workers and the people whose sole crime is being here illegally. Again, I kind of remember Homan and the president saying that's where we were starting. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Is that people pleasing or is that being intellectually honest? I'm just saying how I feel. Murder 1, murder 2, manslaughter, voluntary manslaughter, involuntary manslaughter, reckless endangerment. Okay? A murderer, an illegal alien who has got a rap sheet. An illegal alien who's holding down a job painting houses. Yeah, the house painters eventually got to go. Let's really clean up the street, though. Let's get rid of the really bad guys first. How's that? There's some intellectual. That's how I genuinely, honestly feel about this subject. Anyway, so there you go. There's an example of, okay, it's quiet now. I'm not on TV talking about this, watching protesters run after and spit in the faces of federal law enforcement. You're not sitting there watching a bombardment of incoming news. We all have the benefit of the quiet morning and the benefit of hindsight and looking back at what has already transpired. We have information. So, based on all of that, let's talk about what's been going on in the country. 1-800-848-9222. And let's go to Mickey in Queens. Mickey in Queens, line 3. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, TJ?
Good. Thank you, Mickey. Thank you for calling. Thank you for waiting to get on the air.
Yes, that's okay. That's fine. First time I'm calling you. I'm speaking with you. Okay. I have 4 things here.
Okay.
Number 1.
Yes.
Okay. Where am I? Okay.
Take your time.
The protesters have to be. I heard J.D. Vance saying that anybody supporting the protesters ought to be tried and go to jail if they have to. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people giving money, millionaires, people of influence protecting. Yeah, they're not doing this by themselves.
Clearly. Yep.
Yeah, he said it this morning or yesterday. Mm-hmm. And the sanctuary city, I think that's an insult. How could you create a city within a city? And number 3, people should wait. They should wait 10 to 20 years to give them citizenship. They come here legally because that's what happened with the election in New York with Mandami.
Yep.
There were people that just became citizens recently. I love this country. I was born in Dominican Republic. I love this country, and I'm ready to take up arms to defend it. So I'm going to have to try to learn because it seems like it's going that way. That we're going to have to defend it. Yeah. And then the number 4 is: do you know if the Supreme Court can get involved in anything now before they get the petitions or the papers? after something doesn't go through, can they get involved in some of the stuff that's going on? Because it sounds like we're going to have to rewrite the Constitution, which I love and respect. I have to learn more about it.
Rewrite it in what regard? Like what part of it? What would we have to address, do you think, Mickey?
Yeah, not rewriting everything, but for example, what is a citizen? What is citizenship? And you just don't give a citizenship just freely, like it's candy, like a free candy, because people abuse this country. I know people that I knew a family that the husband or the boyfriend or this woman, she had a kid with a guy. The guy was illegal. He sexually abused the daughters of this woman, but because she didn't want to go to jail because she had a child with him, it was so disgusting that to hear that. And these were young ladies, and he was here illegally, and she wouldn't lift a finger to prosecute him or anything. I don't know what happened with them. So yeah, that's one thing that I want the Supreme Court to get involved in something. Like to go and look and make an announcement. Yeah. That's why they call the Supreme Court. Don't wait until 3 years from now somebody.
Yeah, well, it would be up. It would take somebody to bring a lawsuit to challenge the definition of a citizen, for example. I think I don't think the Supreme Court does something just proactively on their own. I think somebody needs to petition the court to investigate something, but I get what you're saying. We have to sort of potentially revisit some things maybe. And it is, what is a citizen? Maybe, I wonder what the future holds after all of this.
I see them as educating us, educating especially people that come from parts of the world that there's no law or there's no consequences or I shouldn't say that. That the law is different, like the laws we have here for women, for children. Yeah. In some parts of the world that it does exist, but it's kind of weak.
Mickey, let me ask you, you came here from the Dominican Republic. About how long did you become, are you a citizen now? Did you take are you a citizen? Yes. How long did it take you to become a citizen?
It took me, I decided to become a citizen after my daughter was born. I said, okay, I'm not going back to the Dominican Republic. I'm not going to go anywhere else. My daughter this is my home now. Yeah. But I have always had a love for this country. My grandmother taught us.
And how did you feel? How did you feel when you took the oath and you became a citizen? Because my wife is from England, and she just became a citizen. She just became a citizen in, I think, June.
Oh, that's nice. Congratulations.
Yeah. She's excited.
Yeah, go
ahead.
I was happy. Yeah. And just waiting to see if you'll be able to vote. The things that citizens normally do.
Who was the first president you voted for?
Let me see. I calculate everything from when my nephew died in Iraq or when my daughter was born. I think it was it Reagan? Yeah, I think it was Reagan.
And you say you had a nephew? Was your nephew in the military?
Yeah, he died in Iraq. He was in the army.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. So he was after 9/11. He was in Iraq. Yeah.
Yeah, that's when he joined. He joined maybe a couple of years later. Yeah, because he died in 2005.
How did he? What happened? How did he die?
It was an ambush in Fallujah.
Oh my God! Oh my God! What was his name?
Jose Luis. Ruiz. R-U-I-Z.
Jose Ruiz. Oh wow! Oh, God rest his soul. Oh my goodness gracious! That's so sad. And boy, what an honorable young. How old was he?
He was 27.
probably gorgeous too, right? Handsome fella.
Yeah, very handsome boy, very handsome boy.
Oh my God.
His father was a Puerto Rican family. And so.
Oh gosh, Mickey, I'm so sorry you lost your nephew. My God, boy, what an honorable young man giving up his life, coming from you say his father was Puerto Rican, and so was his mom,
my sister.
was, okay, so Dominican.
Yeah, my sister also, my sister came here at the age of 7.
Wow.
Yeah, my sister wasn't born here. She was 7 years old.
She was 7 years old. Oh, well, rest his soul. And boy, oh boy, what I'm sure there's pictures of him in your house and in your families. Oh, geez, that's tough.
When he came to meet his daughter, my sister said, "Don't go back. Just don't go back." I said, "No, Mom, because many of my friends, many died without ever having a girlfriend. They were not married. They never had a child. And I'm very lucky. I have a child. I have a wife.
Wow.
So it's okay." No, he always felt like a soldier since he was a little boy.
And so does they have a son or a daughter?
A daughter.
And how old is she now?
I think she's 16.
Wow. No, she's got to be older than that.
She was she's a little older.
Mickey, I gotta go, Mama. I gotta take a break. I'm so sorry, but I'm really glad you called for the first time. Make sure you call me next week, okay? Call and say hi every week. I'd love to hear from you, just to say hi every now and then, okay?
Oh, thank you. You're a sweetheart.
Thank you, love, and God bless your nephew and his daughter. Thank you for calling the show. 1-800-848-9222. It's another side of midnight with me, TJ. We'll be back. We'll talk to Sean, Mike, Jerry, Patricia, and you on another side of midnight.
All night long. This is another side of midnight with TJ McCormack. 77 WABC. It's another side of midnight.
Political humorist TJ McCormack.
Now to the Bernard McGurk studios of 77 WABC. Here's TJ McCormack.
I made a proper bolognese sauce. One of those that you start with all the vegetables. You start with that holy trinity of the celery and the onion and the carrots, and you cook it low and slow and low and slow. And then you put in the, then you deglaze a little bit, and then you put in the pork and the beef. And then you and then you wine and it's, oh my God. And I cook it low and slow for like 2.5 hours, layers of flavor, maron. And then the next day I did pork chops with vinegar peppers. Big, thick sirloin pork chops, bone in. Lot of deglazing of a lot of pans this week. Get up the brown bits. Yeah, I made those vinegar. Oh my God, I made some damn good meals. Anyway, let's get over to Sean in Rockland. Sean. Good morning, Sean.
Hi, TJ. Your show, great as anything.
Thank you.
I could just explain to the people why it's over. Everybody talks about Dearborn, Michigan and Minneapolis and everything, but the 5 fastest growing areas for an Islamic people taking over those areas, not only New York City, Chicago, Los Angeles County, Orange County, California, but also Tampa, Florida, Plano, Texas, Dallas, Fort Worth, the good old boys, where are they? And Houston. So it's really over. This little thing with the ICE going around the country is a sideshow. I said it before during the campaign. They're going to put on a show in certain areas. The country has been fully invaded. There's 350 million people in the country, legally and some illegally, we know. And I figure what they're really trying to do is dilute the conservative movement, and they've started to do it. I say at 400 million, it's over for the conservatives in the country. You'll be so diluted you couldn't be the dog catcher in Tampa Bay. If you look at the last presidential, forget about whatever anybody says. Trump got 77 million, and an airhead and a banana head, chicken head got 75 million votes. Come on, man. That just goes to show you the left wing. You say you have friends, you have trouble with them? Yeah, because I'm telling you, I lived in New York my whole life, except for vacations, of course. The left wingers are liars. You have to be a liar to be a left winger to defend the insanity that they do. Releasing criminals, no bail for cops, having children deform themselves. Come on, you got to be a sick you-know-what to defend that stuff. But that's what they do there. And, Mayor Mandani is the biggest slumlord in America. The New York housing projects have over thousands of violations. 85% of the people who voted for him are foreign-born people. 5 out of the 15 district federal judges in Washington, D.C. are foreign-born left-wing Looney Tunes. Besides the other Looney Tunes that were born here. So it's over. People are talking. This is just a show with ICE. Now they're going to talk about the woman in Minneapolis. The only woman I know in Minneapolis is Mary Richardson.
Mary Tyler
that beautiful
Moore.
Smile. This woman the other day was a criminal who got shot because the people in the federal protection enforcement were defending themselves. That's all. They're going to carry on and on and on. This is all nonsense, folks. It's over. Enjoy yourself. If you want to fight about this and sound good and shoot out the tires and come on, knock it off, folks. Did you hear this? The places where I said are being totally invaded. It's over. They just talk about they're going to distract you and everything in Minneapolis. This invasion, and Saudi Arabia and Qatar are pouring billions in here. Now, here's the one I'm going to break everybody's heart. I'm going to break all your fantasies with this one. There's a lobbying firm in Washington, D.C. that was started by Corey Lewandowski, but he got to get out of there because they do business with Qatar. They spend billions in this country to influence your lifestyle. You watch the football games this weekend as Qatar, Saudi Arabia, invade America and spend billions in here. That's it, man. 400 million, it's over.
Boom. Thank you, Sean. Thank you. I'd be curious to hear from Miguel. Isn't that his name? Miguel down in Tampa, regular caller. I believe it's Miguel. 1-800-848-9222. Let's go to Mike in South Carolina. Early in the program for Mike. Good morning, buddy.
Top of the morning, TJ.
Hey. Top of the morning. Back at you.
Callers. That lady from Dominican Republic. Wow.
Right? Mickey. Yeah, right? That was lovely.
I worked with a lot of guys. I'll be 72 in May. I worked with a lot of guys when I was with the Transit in Metro North. Vietnam vets. They never spoke about it. Never. I helped one guy, and he still thanks me to this day because he was in rough shape for 2 months. He was in a hospital in Suffolk County, post-traumatic. And he's, 75? He's in Biden State, Delaware, a railroad brother. But you know what? I got to talk about Minnesota.
Okay. Go, baby.
Here we go. Minnesota. This Ohar, is that her name?
Yep, Ilhan Omar. Yeah. Ain't she a peach?
There you go. She's got that hairpiece on, whatever she's wearing, that cap.
The hijab.
And she married. Yeah, she married her brother to gain entry into this country. What? And now, she had $65,000 in the bank and she's got $30 million. Gee, what a surprise! Outrageous. And Tampon Tim, the little charade he's running, and Somalis, illegals in that state, but it's exploding around the country with violence, right, TJ?
Yep. Yeah.
And, and how come I posed this question on the radio too? The race relations have not improved in our country at all.
Right.
What happened to the NAACP? Are they in the shadows and not saying a word? Why? If you do that, you're going to allow violence to happen.
Yeah.
Whether it's black against black, black against white, white against Latinos, whatever the case is. We want law and order. I got to leave you with this, TJ.
Sure.
I had a lot of fun as an extra in a couple flicks, I I missed out on the first one, which was a great movie. The Pope of Greenwich Village.
Oh, wow.
They took my thumb, Charlie. They took my thumb.
Hey, let me ask you, Mike, what did you do for the Metro North? What did you do for on the railroad?
Well, I was with Transit for 7 years. I transferred to Metro. I was with Track Engineering Department.
Track Engineering Department.
Yeah. Now, I put in a total of 25 years, and I retired in management the last 8 years.
Huh.
So I saw a lot. Especially accidents. Oh, please! I'm not even gonna.
What do you think? What do you think? I see. This is my opinion on this. This guy. This guy. The what's his name? The MTA chairman. For crying out loud! I'm blanking on his name. It's so forth.
That's right.
But this chairman, I think he's like a modern day Robert Moses. I think this guy is, and just in a different way. I think this guy, who is the chairman of the MTA, is doing such an awful job. I think he's doing such a disservice to New Yorkers. He's destroying lives all around the state. I don't know. It's amazing that anybody at the MTA is able to keep their job at this point, given that it's it's the most poorly managed organization, arguably, in America.
You're exactly right. Curtis said it was money-taking agency, and it was always top-heavy. Metro North, subway, transit, Long Island Railroad, it was always top-heavy with management.
Yeah.
And and this Mandami, if I could say this.
Sure.
Here's another one. I call him, he's the Muslim Houdini. He's got these flashing his pearly whites, and that city's going down, and you're going to see an exodus in the tri-state area, people moving southbound. Whatever the case is. And also with this, I'll leave you with this. I'm sorry.
Oh, and by the way, his name is Jano Lieber. Jano Lieber is the name of the NTA chairman. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. And all these others, Crockett, Maxine Waters.
Right. Blood on the hands. Blood on the hands. Yep.
Blood on it. AOC. And this Hakeem, I said this on a show a couple of weeks ago. Hey, Hakeem, you talk with your fingers and your hands with an angry face.
Yeah.
And he even said, the country's ready for a new black president. Hey, Hakeem, you got to tone down your rhetoric and all the others.
Yep.
You got to tone down your rhetoric.
Yep.
All right, TJ.
All right, baby. We'll probably talk to you tomorrow. Thank you, Mike. 1-800-84, bye, buddy. 1-800-848-9222. Jerry in New Jersey. Jerry, line 4. Good morning. Welcome to Another Side.
Good morning, TJ. I wish that everyone would wake up and realize a few things. That we need to absolutely win the 2028 election, and we need to even win the 2032 election, because if we don't win both of those elections, like that gentleman said, we are done. That's number one. And I'll tell you, I got a candidate I think is who we should draft, and I'll tell you why in one moment, but I want to mention two things. I've been listening to a lot of things you said.
Okay.
First of all, we owe it to the people like from the Dominican Republic, that woman, and all the soldiers who were hurt and injured and killed over all of our wars. We owe it to them to not falter when we have to stand up to these radicals. These radicals are not children of the 60s and 70s. They're adults now who are mayors of a city like Minneapolis, and who are governors. And they're just as radical. Now, here's the difference.
Yes.
They have the power to put us in jail. We don't have free speech if they're in control of everything, including the White House.
Right.
And we will be put in jail like we saw the January 6th. That's just the start of it. Next time they get in, they're going to put us in jail for just speaking out against any political issue that they don't agree with. And so there's never going to be free elections. They will take that away from you. They're going to ruin your elections, and that's the end of everything. The ball game's over. So who do I think is a good candidate? Oh, well, by the way, Tom Homan and Donald Trump and everyone else in the administration said something a little different. They did not only say that they wanted to arrest criminals first, but they said something else, a caveat that we have to talk about. They said, if you cooperate with us, if we have to expand all our energy and resources, you're not going to hand over people who are known criminals who you have in your possession already, then anyone who gets caught up in all the effort we got to put out to get those criminals, they're going to if they're illegals. They did say that a lot.
Wow.
So that's the other thing. You remember that?
That's true. You know what? You're right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Very important.
That is crucial.
Yeah, okay.
That's crucial.
Now let me just get to the most important
Yes,
point.
quickly.
We
Yes,
need
please.
to have someone who can win the presidency. Okay? Look at George Bush. George Bush, the father, he was not too good a president. He had only one term.
Right.
His son, 12 years later, after he was elected, got in. His son was a drunk. Okay?
So who do you think would be a good candidate? Who's a good candidate? You like Vance?
Okay. No, because I want a businessman. Trump showed already a businessman, right? Can do it. Okay. I want someone who can bring out MAGA. I want someone who the Trumps can support completely. I want a guy that's a little younger than Obama by a year. He'll be at that age, and he's older than Teddy Roosevelt and older than John Kennedy. He'll be 44 years old.
Who?
I want Eric Trump. He's a world-class businessman.
Okay.
His father will be 100% behind him, and MAGA will love him.
All right. Well, MAGA will certainly love him. His dad will certainly be behind him. But you know what? And just as I was about to say, America doesn't like a dynasty. Well, they didn't see. Yeah, they didn't really have a problem with Bush.
No, we have to win.
But what about Mark? You know, I'll tell you, Marco Rubio is getting a lot of cred these days.
He won't get I like him as a vice president with Eric on the top of the ticket.
Mm-hmm.
I want that Trump name, and I want Trump with him, because it's like electing Trump. You see, we'll get MAGA out.
All right.
Okay, we know we can count on him to do everything that needs to be done. You can't count on that.
Hey, Jerry, by the way, I'm gonna see your comment about 28 and 32, but I'm gonna double down and say right now, our immediate concern, we've got to hold the line and win the flipping midterms, because all bets are off, and it's going to be just impeachment city if we don't hold the House and the Senate especially. But we need to hold the House, and we've got to get to work now and hold the line and win the midterms. That's crucial. Forget 28 if that happens. If that doesn't happen, if we don't hold it. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, buddy boy. It is 40 minutes past the hour on another side of midnight. Patricia in Michigan. Good morning, Patricia, line 5.
Good morning, TJ.
Hi.
Thank you for being so nice, because I know you're not going to interrupt me with hostile questions and hang up on me.
I will not. Not as far as you know, Patricia. How dare you tell me how I do my show? How dare you? I might just go ahead. Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay, what I want to tell you is, well, first of all, I want to say that I like Eric Trump too, and I also like RFK Jr. I think he's an American hero. And Rubio's okay, but they say he's deep state. I'm not sure if that's true. Anyway, the most important thing I want to say is that the lady in Minneapolis that ran over the agent. Okay, both parties are, name calling and all the hatred and all. This is all fluff.
Sure.
What's important is who is paying her. Who paid her and her screaming wife to be there to kill ICE agents? That's what I want to know. And why can't somebody brilliant like Elon Musk find that information out?
He's coming back around. Have you noticed, Patricia? He's on Twitter and X. He's coming back into the fold. I get the sense that Elon sees the role he played in the general election. I think Elon is setting himself up, and Trump will happily take him back into the fold. I think he's coming back for the midterm election cycle is Elon Musk.
He is an asset to America. And also, what I want to say is I have Chinese in-laws, and I think Trump's main problem is he has all these, what do you call it, interest groups against him.
Yes.
He's got the Muslims, first of all. I mean, they want to see America destroyed. They want to conquer. I was going to say,
they got something against all of us. Yeah,
Yeah, okay. They're hooked up with the Democratic Party, who is, stupid. They're just stupid.
Yes, they are.
And they're also hooked up with the Chinese. Oh, and also the LGBT
trans terrorist. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, the Chinese are pumping them up. They're pumping up the anti-Jewish propaganda. I mean, that is serious business.
Them and Soros. Them and good old Soros. And with Soros, you get Obama. I'm a big believer that Obama is so absolutely entwined in all of this stuff. Barack Obama.
That's what I mean. Trump has too many forces against him right now, and it's scary. But the Chinese think, I have to argue with family all the time about this. The Chinese think if they use the Muslims to get rid of all the Jews, they can take down American culture, take down America, and be the, the big shot.
Well, they probably can. That probably is a way to take down the American culture. I mean, right? I mean, they're not wrong. They're probably right. They knock out enough of these institutions and the people who are so closely associated with them. I bet you they're right. They could knock the American culture. I mean, again, Patricia, I just came back from the UK, where my wife is from. And, that over there is little or no assimilation at all. It is absolutely a bellwether for where America's going. If we don't take advantage of this part of the MAGA opportunity to, make an effort to compel immigrants to learn English, reading, writing English, English as the official language of the United States, all of that. I mean, that is, we have got to get back to everybody assimilate. You can be your own person. You can enjoy your culture. Of course. I mean, God, but we've got to get back to loving this country, especially, people who are coming here have got to want to come here and have got to want to be a part of the society.
Well, there's no assimilation in Michigan either. In fact, it's Muslims taking over the hospitals completely.
Where are you in Michigan, by the way?
Up by the Blue Water Bridge.
Where is? Oh, okay. All right. So up near that's the connects to Canada, correct? Am I wrong or right?
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to get back to sleep. I'm only up because my dog wakes me up to go outside.
All right. Hey, Patricia, thank you for. And I hope that you enjoyed the call. I didn't interrupt,
yes,
lovely. Well, make sure you call back again, Patricia. All right.
Yes, I will. Thank you so much.
All
Bye.
right. God bless. Bye. Take care. All right. There goes Patricia. I believe a first-time caller. Very, very nice, and she was very right. I am very nice. I am very nice and polite and loving. I am very sweet and cute. I'm adorable. If you've never seen me, I am sweet and small and unassuming. I'm going to cough. My throat is dry. I would make a very bad protester right now. I couldn't spit on an ICE agent if you paid me. If you paid me Soros dollars, I could not work up enough saliva to spit at an ICE agent right now to save my life. 1-800-848-9222. It is me, TJ. It's another side of midnight, and let's get over to Eddie in Rockland. Que pasa, Eddie?
Hey, TJ, good morning.
Good morning, buddy.
What a difference between 2 weeks. Last week, I was out here freezing my butt off. Now it's nice and relatively warm for January morning.
Yeah, it is, right? It's like got to be at least in the 40s, right?
Yeah, it is. So last week we have a great extraction in Venezuela. Everyone's feeling good about themselves.
Right.
And then this week we have a horrible shooting.
Yep.
So, things can change relatively quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want everyone to get all bent out of shape about it.
Right.
Because overall, we got it pretty good,
Yeah. Yeah. You, me,
pretty good.
The people. Yeah, I think it's got to, people, again, it's about making choices, right, buddy? That woman, if she had to go, she made a bad choice. She made a series of bad choices. Not to say that, hey, them's the breaks, you die. That's not the implication of what you're saying and what I'm saying. But she made a series of bad choices. And, sometimes that is the culmination, So it's a shame.
And there's something really kind of good happening in Iran now.
Yes.
That might
I'm so glad you brought that up. Yes. Uh-huh.
And, you got to look on the positive side.
Mm-hmm.
Because as I always say, we got our guardian angel to protect us.
Yep.
And, do the next right thing.
Mm-hmm.
And don't worry about what happens.
Is it?
Things will get better.
That's right. Thank you, Eddie.
All right, pal.
All right, buddy boy. Be safe out there. That's Eddie. He, like me, sober dude, every Saturday morning he gives a shout about this time. He's out. You heard that. He's not short of breath. He's not unwell. He's keeping up. He's talking and walking. He's doing his morning walk because, like most sober dudes like me and him and sober women, we tend to get up very, very early. We tend to get up very, very. We like the quiet to start the day. A couple of weeks ago, somebody chimed in and said, TJ, stop talking about your sobriety. I like you. I like your show. Stop talking about your sobriety. When you start to talk about your sobriety, I turn the channel. Well, I live and die by people not turning the channel. But that's a chance I got to take. Because every once in a while, just like I'm conservative, just like I'm diminutive and adorable, pretty damn well dressed. I have my moments. Even now, very casual. I'm wearing kind of a cool Liam Gallagher kind of really cool hooded anorak, a parka. Very cool. But I am who I am. And you drive a political pop culture talk show on one's conservatism or liberalism, or their world knowledge, their academia, they're not, walking around, cocktail party. Me, a good part of what drives this show is the fact that I'm alive to do it. And that's because I'm sober. And, we didn't really put too much into the final hour being our sober, our recovery conversation. So let me just pay a little tribute to that by very quickly saying this approach that I've had, this receiving of this criticism, which wasn't terribly constructive, from my dear friend, asking me if I was actually cheering the death of this woman, on social media today. That's my sobriety in action, taking it in stride. And this guy, this dear buddy of mine, actually questioning my character in a way that I wouldn't think somebody who knows me would question my character. Am I cheering her death? In the same way that leftists did indeed cheer the death of Charlie Kirk. I didn't get all combative because, kind of like John Candy in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, I'm okay with me. I like me. My wife likes me. My daughters are proud of me because I'm on Spotify. They don't care that I'm on TV. They care that my podcast is on Spotify. Anyway, my podcast is only going to be on Spotify if I take my breaks when I'm supposed to. And I'm going to do that before Tony comes in here and physically makes me say this. We'll be right back on another set of Midnight with me, TJ, to close out the show on the Red Apple Audio Network.
All night long, this is Another Side of Midnight with TJ McCormack, 77 WABC. It's Another Side of Midnight.
Political humorist TJ McCormack.
Now, to the Bernard McGurk studios of 77 WABC. Here's TJ McCormack.
All right, let's get right over to Frankie. I've had this thought that you're going to express. I've had this more than a few times. Frankie in Glendale, good morning.
Hey, good morning. I'm an optimist like Eddie. I just wanted to say something before I get to that point.
Yes, sir.
You know, you talked about bad choices. Well, that loving mother really made a bad choice.
Yep.
You know, she should have been home baking cookies for her kids, chocolate chip cookies. But anyway, listen, going back in time,
Senator Joseph McCarthy was so right back in the 50s. Everything is coming to fruition right now.
Yep.
And, I don't know what has to be done, but after not many people know this, but after World War II, the United States had taken the captured Germans, the members of the SS, and there was a denazification program. Okay?
Ooh, okay.
I don't know how we have to deprogram the overeducated idiots in our country that should have never gone to college, that got brainwashed. They didn't have much of a mind. Everybody would say, oh, you got to go to college. No. There are people who have been put into college that shouldn't have been there, and they've been brainwashed. Their minds are mush.
You nailed it, Frankie. You nailed it. I'm ripping through these real fast. I got to get to everybody. Thank you, Frankie. You are right. You are right. Mark in Stamford. Mark, good morning.
Yeah, we could trace this back to the 1964 Immigration Reform and Control Act, which was pushed heavily by Teddy Kennedy. And we can also, I remember in 1984 when Ronald Reagan and with Tip O'Neill, they called Ronald Reagan an amicable dunce. I'm talking about immigration reform. What's happening now is the culmination. The restrictions were supposed to start in 1984 and before that. And both parties, Republican and Democrat, let this go. And now just as a culmination, this is the law being, it's totally sad what's going on. And I know you're running rip through the calls, but I'm just saying that you have to look at your history.
Sure.
And I just want to mention what the other woman talked about, who's financing all this stuff. Really quick, I don't want to get my boss in trouble, but I do some deliveries in some high-end neighborhoods in Connecticut. And I was on a place called John Street in Greenwich. Okay, I don't know if you know anything about Greenwich and the Canaan area. Some of the richest areas. Okay, you know what I'm talking about.
Totally.
I'm not trying to impress you with everything I know.
No.
I saw an SUV pull out of a driveway in John Street about 8 months ago. It was a big black GMC, $100,000 vehicle. Okay, and I saw this little placard. It was right on the side of the door. It was a circle. Slash with a crown. The richest people in this country are financing these protests against Trump, and they'll do it. I mean,
George Soros lives near me. I drive right past George Soros's driveway like once or twice a week. When I avoid traffic, I go through a country road. It's a creepy, big fence that I know behind it lives an evil man and his son. I'm with you, Mark. I'm with you. Very quick. Here we go. Nice and fast. Glenn, Jersey. Go, baby.
Yeah, I just wish, TJ, that people would stop repeating wrong information. Adrian Good did not run over anybody. I heard a lady just a few minutes ago on your show said that lady who ran over the agent.
Oh, she bumped into him. She ran into him.
Donald Trump even said it. She ran over someone. I wish people would stop saying that.
Well, I mean, if she didn't run over him, it's still kind of lousy to be hit by a car. She did run into him.
The point is the information they're repeating is incorrect.
Yeah, well, the left is also saying that the guy murdered her unprovoked. They're saying it's murder, which it wasn't murder. Glenn, we got to jump, buddy. Rhonda, real fast, like literally 15 seconds, Rhonda.
Okay, could they have used a stun gun instead of having her murdered like you capture a wild animal? She was acting like a wild animal. I am behind ICE 100%.
Yeah.
Is there a preventive way that ICE can use not to kill an individual?
I believe so, Rhonda, and it probably would have helped if Minneapolis police was supporting them. But it's a sanctuary city. They're not allowed to. We'll see you tomorrow morning, friends. Another side of midnight. I wish you all the luck in the world.
It's Another Side of Midnight. 77 WABC.
Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.